In the previous episode...
I can't even tell the father he's going to be one in a few months' time!
What?! Hello everybody, welcome back. In the previous episode, Hana revealed that she was pregnant and the pastor is being haunted by the girl, the Ringu girl. It's been a while since I played this game. It's probably been a few weeks, so I'm sorry if I've forgotten things. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? Back to square one we go. If there is salvation in this, I hope we find it soon. The moon is well into the night sky by the time I make it back home. My heavy treads and the sound of traffic outside echoing in my ears, filling the empty room with some semblance of life. Nana would scold me if she ever hears me walk like that, but after today I really can't give a damn about everything. The mattress creaks under my weight and I unceremoniously flop down on it. I find myself looking at the paper under my grip. As promised, Miss Wright had my bike delivered back to my apartment. Raise your glasses, give cheers to the good times. You are cordially invited to the Wright's housewarming party, October 28th, 2016, Friday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon onwards, Ermengarde Mansion, blah blah blah. Be there, heart, Hana. Found it parked in the Wright downstairs with an invitation and a note tacked to it, in fact. Be there, it said. If only it were that easy, but it'd give me the chance to talk to her. About that thing in their house. With a sigh, I let my hand fall to the side of the bed along with the invitation. I'll think about it tomorrow when my head ain't muddled with the thoughts of headless women and the haunting smiles of a ghost. Belatedly, it occurs to me I haven't eaten anything since I left this morning, and an empty, gnawing ache makes itself known, but I can't bring myself to stand up. Time to get takeaway. Today was a complete waste of time and frankly a disappointment. I don't like this. The lack of certainty, the disquiet, the lack of stable ground to stand on, the part where I don't know what will come tomorrow. Ever since that damn letter, everything has been thrown out of the loop. I wish everything stayed the same. Routine would have been easier to make sense of this. Closing my eyes, I let the noise from the streets below lull me to sleep. At the very least, it's the only thing that hasn't changed. October 29th, Saturday. Right, one sec. 29th. So, the party already happened. Yes, the party already happened. Hana asked for a break, and Hana went into the cellar. The melody carries into the hall long before I cross the threshold. Solemn but gentle and soothing, a reminder of what home is. Pa's firm but meaningful gaze, Ma's wistful smiles, the warm rays filtering through the eaves at sunset, the distinct smell of wet earth and leaves after a long day's rain, and our room. The room, Ma and Pa's pride and joy, a place where we once promised several springs ago. Yet it won't stop.
No, wait! Come back! I'll be good this time! Please don't leave! Please stay!
The floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is, the walls more forbidden than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Ma's singing ceases and Pa. I can't hear Pa. Not above the clanging and the deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There is only the blinding fear. But when the light breaks, her skin has already taken a sickly pale color, rotten in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and lesion on her body. Bony hands grip Hana's neck like a noose, staining the skin underneath with a vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but malice fills a gleam in her eyes. That was long. A scream ripples through the air. My whole body feels distant. Is this a quick time event? I'm ready. Every limb heavy with lead, all unable to move at will. Not even so I can wipe the beads of sweat forming at my temple. The rasping of my breath easily fills the room in the wee hours while I force it back into a steady rhythm. This is really hard to concentrate. There is a tightness in my chest I can't shake off, my heart pounding against it as if it's about to burst out. Something cold has settled in my legs. Oh my. Not the usual chill that comes and goes with the passing breeze from the window, but one strong enough to sting, shackle, and leave frigid sensation creeping up my skin. With every struggle I make, the pressure winds firmly around my legs, tighter, and tighter, and tighter, all until it becomes too much. My heart stops. Another draft sweeps into the room and brings with it the iron tang of blood. I'm gonna save. Thick, suffocating, filling my nose with a foul, sickening smell as I shift my gaze downwards, and slowly it comes into view. Mouth stretched in a hideous smile and eyes brimming with nothing but madness. The stench of gore taints the air around me and I can't look away. From the terror and death that her uncanny twisted features alone scream. I tried to open my mouth to shout, to ask for any help, but my voice has left my body altogether. All I have is a painful realization that no kind of plea will ever save me from her. Then suddenly the bed dips. Am I dead? No, I'm not. The brutal plunge back into myself jerks me awake. Alright, I move myself a bit further down. The brutal plunge back into myself jerks me awake. There is no ear-splitting scream, no wild thrashing of limbs, just a painful, constricting awareness that something has wound itself tightly around my neck. I waste no second pulling a blanket away, but allow myself a few minutes to steady my breathing before getting out of the bed. Inhale, hold, exhale. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. Sorry, I was thinking of dance steps. But the dreams have gotten worse. Ever since 2 days ago, no longer are the small cursory flashes that I'm used to, but vivid ones that linger. I can still feel the blood in my hands, the putrid smell of rotting flesh, the sickening crunch of bones breaking with every movement, and her cold, chilling eyes as they bore into me. I draw in one long, ragged breath, and before I know it, I'm walking out the door. Even in the waking world, it reeks. Yes, the water fountain that goes over the edge. A bench on the park is far from the most private places for thought in Luxbourne, considering its location at the heart of the bustling city. But in the early hours of the morning it provides enough peace and quiet for any poor problematic soul who happens to wander here. It sounds like it's very busy. The city is just waking up a little later than usual. It's Saturday, right? But knowing what day it is, one can't fault it for being a little tardy just this once. Yet neither of the pleasant morning chill nor the soft twittering of birds does anything to banish the images. Every single one has rooted itself in my head, its claws digging deep in what is no longer a safe place to hide in.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down.
It used to be easy finding some pretense of peace under the guise of sheer optimism, following the regular routine. Now I don't know what to make of it. Sometimes it's easier to run, easier to hide when everything's falling apart that way, yet you don't have to be the first to witness when it does. It worked when things went bad with the movie, after all. It also worked when Ma and Pa were taken from us, though the sentiment's a little hypocritical when you think about my little talk with Miss Wright the other day. But that's just how it is. Maybe it really is better if I just... Oh, thank fuck. She was annoying. The tiny voice gives me a pause. When I look up, a little girl, maybe about 6 or 7, is peering at me. 2 wide eyes overflowing with what can only be natural curiosity one typically sees in children. I vaguely note the St. Goretti uniform she's wearing before returning to her greeting. That's Hannah's niece! Hannah's goddaughter.
Hey kid.
Kylie.
Kylie?
Yeah.
That's my name. Mama said it's rude not to call people by their names.
You should also not talk to strangers. She then flops down on the empty space beside me. Her little legs, still too short to touch the ground, swing in tune with a song she hums under her breath. I don't mind kids. Nana would often invite the ones in our old neighborhood to give them treats. Of course, by then, Sis and I were both too old to play with them, but you get used to the commotion eventually. It's not completely as unpleasant as most people would imply. Kylie seems to be a well-behaved kid anyway.
Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you, Kylie. Is Mama here?
No, but my big brother's with me.
Is Mama around us right now? Can you feel her presence?
He's taking pictures with his camera over there.
She points to the far end of the park, the one closest to the street where a kid is taking shots of something above him. It doesn't look to be birds because all there is on the side of the park are buildings.
I don't see what's so interesting with the tip of a building, though. I'd take pictures of dogs if I were him. They're cuter.
You and me both, Kylie.
Do you have a camera too, mister?
Yeah, I'm actually a photographer.
Mama said I'm too young to get a camera.
I'm sure your mama will eventually give you one. But won't you be late for school like this?
Big brother will get us there on time. Rowan promised Papa we aren't going to be late. It's sports day. So it's not good if you keep looking like that today.
Fun fact, I have never participated in a sports day. I kept meaning to, but circumstances meant I never got to.
If it ends up raining and we lose, it's your fault.
For anyone who doesn't know what sports day is, by the way, in the UK, I don't know how often this happens, but basically each year is divided into different classes, and on sports day all of these classes go up against each other to see who is best at each sport. So like 100 meters, 1500 meters, javelin, blah blah blah.
All right, I'll try not to upset the clouds today, kid.
Is it because you're sick, mister?
Before I know it, a smile is spread over my face. They say kids ask the toughest questions sometimes, and they sure do with how sincere Kylie looks. Lying feels like doing her a huge disservice.
No, not sick. Just having a very, very bad day.
It's like 8 a.m. Oh, it's like 9 a.m. Wait, she's going to school? Isn't it Saturday? It is!
Why is that? Is that like when my big brother ate all of my pudding? He did that once and then cried. It wasn't very nice of him.
I would also cry if someone ate my pudding.
Yeah, I think so. You see, there's this mean girl. She's given my friends and I a lot of trouble. Hard to keep up when things are like that, you know? Especially when you can't do anything. It's kind of scary. Makes you wish things will just stay as peaceful as they used to be.
Maybe she just wants to be friends with you?
I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt that.
Give me a second.
She already hurt one of my friends.
What if she's just sad? Or maybe she just wants help. That's what happened with Melody. I let her borrow my crayon when she left hers. Now we're playmates.
It's not really the same thing, Kylie. What she did, they're pretty bad things.
I'll choke you if you choke me, says the ghost.
I still think there's another reason. Did you try talking to her? That's what Mama said I should do.
I suppose we never have tried talking to the ghost. No, you know what? We haven't tried talking to her, but we've talked at her. So, like, Isabella kept screaming, "No, get away from me, blah, blah, blah." But she was never like, "Are you okay?" First thing to do when you encounter a ghost, ask if it's okay. They never do that in horror movies.
I don't think that'll work either.
You haven't even tried yet. You sound like Rowan. You're just scared, mister.
That strikes a chord. Maybe it's the honesty in her tone or simply the truth in the words itself. I don't know why, but I can't help it. I laugh. Loud enough to disturb an elderly couple taking a leisurely walk nearby.
Why are you laughing?
That's nothing. You're a really smart kid, you know that?
That's what I've been doing, ain't it? Go full speed ahead and then backtrack when the going gets tough. Stay in my safe zone because that's what I know. Once Dr. Navarro said I should be the first one willing to deal with my problems before anyone else. I didn't show up to our next appointment after that. But he's right. And though I hate to admit it, knowing what I've seen, but the kid makes a good point too. That was such a weird sentence. I've been so caught up thinking there might not be a way out. Maybe there isn't, or maybe there is, but that doesn't mean I should just leave it up to fate.
You better get to school, though, or you'll miss sports day.
Why is sports day on Saturday?
You should have won yourself some awards, alright?
Alright. Can I show it to you when I do? That can cheer people up, right?
You don't know me. In the distance, her brother calls for her, and I took that as a sign to leave. Got things to do to face, the first few steps, they say.
Nah, I'm good now, I think. Thanks to you. Besides, Mister needs to go. But you should show it to Mama and Papa. I'm sure they'll be proud of you, Kylie.
I will. Thanks, mister. Bye.
I give her a little pat on the head before heading my way. A small gesture of thanks from a stranger she didn't know she might have helped. She may not understand it now, even though such a young age she already has this understanding of things, but maybe when she's older. When the world no longer seems too big for her.
But aren't you going to help me, mister?
With what?
Confused, I glance back. Whatever cheer our little talk brought has vanished under the shadow suddenly dancing in my eyes. This frigid air is most definitely not how the morning chill should feel like, bitter, stinging, and welcoming. And the kid.
What do you think, mister? Are you going to help me?
Fuck no.
Leave us alone! What did we do to you?
He did just try talking to her. The response never comes, however. Because when I blinked, gone.
Hello? Mister? Are you okay?
For several passing seconds, I let my stare linger on her face, waiting for any sign of another change. But all that remains in there is the carefree smile of a child, none of the spite, none of the cold, bloody smile.
Nothing. I really need to go, Kylie. It was nice meeting you.
See you again, mister!
I break into a run. I don't look back, not even as I bump into a couple of passers-by as soon as I'm out on the busy streets. Going insane, this is what it is. And if we don't do something soon, we'll all be. Okay, let's read this entry. Saturday, October 29th, Zachary's nightmares became worse with each passing day. To help clear his mind of the unwanted images, Zach took a visit to the park. There he met little Kylie Suarez, a precocious young girl studying at St. Goretti's. The tremors follow me even as I get home. I had hoped a little stroll around the block for a few hours would help. Instead, I am assaulted with more images of her, her smile, the loathing in her eyes, the stench of gore, the horrid crunch that comes with every movement she makes. Even old memories have been sullied by her, and Ma's song no longer sounds as sweet as it meant to be. In the end, all I got is a sinking feeling I will never be rid of her image, and another ridiculous idea that I may or may not even work. Not I. The sun is already hanging low on the horizon when I make it back. And for the first time, coming home feels more like a chore. Only I didn't arrive to an empty room. Because as soon as I open the door, I am greeted by none other than, is it Ash?
Sup, Z-Man?
I told you we should have called him before going here.
It's fine.
It is Ashton I see first, sitting comfortably on my couch, munching on a bag of chips with both feet propped atop the coffee table. Whatever proverbial stone has made a home at the pit of my stomach automatically flies right out of the window at the sight of him. But before any exasperation can set in, my attention is taken by the other occupant in the room. Isabella perches on the only other chair in the room, attempting to make herself smaller, it seems, from how closely she's hugging her arms against her. Nevertheless, she gives me a small smile when she notices my stare. Yet somehow there ain't any warmth in it like it's supposed to have.
Hey, Zach. Sorry we just barged in here. Ash was...
Relax. Z-Man gave me a copy of the key himself.
Only after you broke the 13th one? I can't keep replacing them every time you think it'd be a good idea to break into my apartment.
Does that mean Zach owns his apartment? Because that's impressive.
And stop calling me Z-Man!
I didn't break anything this time.
Ash, just because I gave you a key doesn't mean you can just stroll in here whenever you want to. And, hey, is that my...
Ash smirks at me because of course he has the gall to smirk knowing what he did. He pops in what's very likely the last piece of chip into his mouth and folds the wrapper neatly on the table before throwing it on the nearby trash lug. I hope he's going to replace that. From her chair, Isabella shoots me an apologetic smile as soon as the foil hits the waste bin with a dull thunk. Common sense dictates that I should be angry. But after everything, having something normal play out in front of me, no matter how childish their antics can get, I can't bring myself to muster even a tidbit of it. Behind me, the television starts blaring the music for the end credits of a movie. They have likely been waiting for a while if Ash has gotten impatient enough to rummage through my cupboards and watch something.
Of course he eats all of it. You know, I was saving that for the weekend. Did you at least share some with Bella?
Don't worry about it. I'm good, Zach.
Really? It's free food, you know? What was that you usually say? You don't say no to free food? What happened?
No, I'm just not hungry.
Ash only shrugs at the question in my eyes. I can't be the only one who finds this vibe she's giving off to be odd, and the guy has no doubt already caught wind of it.
Aye. But if you want something, just say so. I've got a fully restocked pantry right here at your disposal. Still not a 5-star level thing, but for an empty stomach, it'd do. Just say the word.
Thanks, Zach. Maybe next time. Food is not really what we came here for. Ash, he's the one who...
She casts a brief glance at Ash, and in an instant he sits up. Every trace of amusement is gone from his face as he clasps his hand in front of him and leans forward. A minuscule gesture meant to ease, yet the grim expression on him tells a different story altogether.
All right, you two, what's this about? I don't like those looks.
Are you sleeping with Hannah? A short pretense pause follows. They're both stalling. Under normal circumstances, I'd wait. With these two, the more you force it, the more they'll clamp down on it. But as a handful of seconds continue to slip by, the unsettling feeling in me also grows with it. So it turns into impatience. Before I can demand a response, though, one of them finally speaks up. It is Isabella who breaks it first.
We just thought we should check on you. After what happened to Rose,
Please don't tell me something happened again.
No, nothing. None so far. And we're keeping it that way as much as possible.
Ash, it's not that easy. This isn't some...
We don't know that. Let me...
The bit of frustration in his tone is impossible to miss, but he catches it as soon as Isabella draws back. He allows himself a moment to breathe before dropping it for one less harsh, more tempered, gentler.
Let me look at this first, okay? I agreed to help, but you've got to let me handle things from now on.
I already told you everything.
There must be something we're not seeing in this just yet. We'll sort this out, but no more silly ideas and running around on your own. You're making people worry more than necessary. Becca, especially.
So everything's fine?
Depends on who you're asking. How are things with you? Anything odd?
Good, I guess. Admittedly, how things went down at the housewarming party last night threw me off a bit.
I'm not asking about that. Remember the letter thing Isabella's been yapping on about? I'm asking about that kind of odd.
I look at him. Gaped, more like. His serious expression doesn't waver despite the perplexed look I shoot him. There is a brief second I pass as I wait for the heavens to fall somewhere. It doesn't come. The sky is still bathed in vibrant reddish hues as it waits for the night to arrive. Luxbourne is still the same busy city, and everything in my room still appears to be as it did a second ago, including the unnerving ticking of my wall clock. But if Ashton, a calm, cool, collected, always logical Ashton, takes interest in this, something or someone must have fucked the shit up somewhere.
Well, the dreams, they're a lot worse than usual. There's a woman now, ever since we saw that letter. I don't know if it's the same one Isabella talked about. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I really don't want to go back to sleep sometimes. Last night was the worst. Anyway, why are you asking about this?
Rose's death isn't just a coincidence, Zach. It may have something to do with... I may have...
Wait, stop right there for a sec, Bella. I thought you ain't buying this stuff, Ash. Just the other day, you said the exact same thing.
I still don't, but even Rebecca, out of all people, claims there's something.
Ooh, Rebecca saw something.
Whatever this is, someone has got to look into it. Everything about this screams shady.
Are you sure you even have the time? Ain't you busy with your current case?
I got taken off that one.
You didn't say you were taken off your case.
I just got the news this morning. Apparently the higher-ups think I'm doing a horrendous job at it. It doesn't matter though. If these two cases are connected like I initially thought, then regardless, I'm on the right track.
Are you sure we should even be doing this?
Doing what exactly?
Breaking in.
There's some place we'll visit after this.
Too vague for comfort, Ash. And please don't tell me you're bringing her with you.
His affirmation comes in the form of a stare, but that alone says all I need to know. What I pointed out gives him a pause, though, and his voice is thick with hesitation when he addresses Isabella.
You know what? Zach's right, Isabella. You don't have to come with me.
It's not myself I'm worried about. It's you. I'll just do this myself, if it'll get you into more trouble with your superiors. At least I can make up an excuse why I need to be there.
Don't be ridiculous. You're not walking in there without me. Besides, I think it's a little too late to back out now. Have you two seen the news this morning?
I haven't, actually.
Is the pastor dead?
Mama called, and I was busy.
The change in the air around her, while small, cannot have gone unnoticed, and it takes every willpower not to ask. Probably the only thing reigning in my curiosity is the fact that Ash himself hasn't brought it up either.
No problem. It should be in the afternoon news as well.
He grabs the remote and cycles through numerous channels until he gets to a news report about another guy who has been found dead in the early hours of the morning today. Man burned after room catches fire. Who is that? Burned alive this time. Oddly, no fire is spread, and whatever damage has been contained within the place the body was found. The room itself, however, has been completely vandalized. Help me, help me, help me. Another murder the authorities claimed. Isabella and I knew better. None of us shifts even after the report ends, but the room has suddenly felt stifling. Ashton's eyes have gone hooded with what appears to be restrained anger, and the remote in his hand creaks mildly under his grip. The stone is back in my stomach. A tiny little thing gripping at my insides, growing with every passing second as the dread sinks in. In the thick of it, Isabella's voice is the one that breaks the hush. A small, weak thing on its own that wavers unevenly between words, but every syllable heavy with meaning.
This is because of that thing, isn't it? I did this somehow.
When it fades, all that's left in the air is doubt and fear, while all we can do is cope. Is there something I can say to make her feel better? Probably, however. We're gonna find out on the next episode, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. We're gonna try and keep the friendship with Isabella on high. But yeah, hopefully it'll go well. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all on the next episode. Bye!